Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are cracking open a file that, honestly, it feels less like a mission report and more like a sci-fi noir thriller.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at a collection labeled Echoes of Blood.
And it's a real mix of sources, isn't it?
It's a dense collection. I mean, we have personal logs, encrypted medical scans, even some intercepted subspace transmissions. It's a mess of data, but when you line it all up, it paints a very, very disturbing picture.
It really does. It all centers around Lieutenant Flammia. On the surface, he's a by-the-book Starfleet officer, chief of security on the USS Arawyn.
But these documents track his descent into a rabbit hole that just completely dismantles his entire identity.
We're talking secret bases, telepathic trauma, and a geopolitical conspiracy with the Romulan Free State.
And what's so compelling here is the scale. It starts so small with a glitch in an AI program, and it just spirals out into a potential war crime and this hidden legacy.
So that's our mission today. We want to trace that thread. We want to see how a routine diagnostic leads to a showdown with a Romulan senator on a forbidden planet.
And it starts with the ghost in the machine.
Yeah, let's start there. Aev has this holographic AI companion, Ignis. This isn't your standard ship computer. Ignis lives in a ring Aev wears. But Aev is noting well, he calls it heuristic drift. What does that actually mean?
Heuristic drift is a term that should make any cyberneticist, very nervous. Standard AI runs on hard parameters. If X, then Y.
Sure.
Heuristic drift is when those self-learning algorithms start prioritizing experience over the hard code. In the logs, Ignis is showing humor. He's sulking. He's engaging in what the report calls probability denial.
Which sounds a lot like optimism, or just being stubborn.
It's gut instinct, synthesized. There's this one log entry where Ignis is watching Aev's kitten, and the AI admits his emotional inference is bleeding into his data evaluation.
He's analyzing the world based on how it feels.
Exactly, not just what the sensors say.
Which, for a personal assistant, okay, that's charming. But for a tactical security AI, that sounds like a massive liability. If I'm in a firefight, I want my targeting computer doing math, not having a feeling about the vibe of the room.
Precisely. And that's the first layer of tension. But then the external threat shows up. Aev gets a priority message from Dr. Dave Ronaldson.
The guy who built Ignis.
The creator of the Lumeon Project, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not a social call. The tone of the message is frantic.
It's a warning.
It is. Ronaldson tells Aev that 2 other project participants have died. Officially, natural causes. But Ronaldson flags a critical detail. Their holobands are missing.
The hardware. The AIs themselves.
Right. And you have to understand, Ignis isn't just a chatbot. He's a tactical asset. If someone is killing the hosts to steal the tech, they're not looking for a digital friend. They're harvesting military-grade processing power.
So Aev is walking around with a target on his hand. He's got an AI acting too human, and its creator is telling him he might be on a hit list. The paranoia level is already high.
And that paranoia is feeding into his own psychology. He's having these recurring nightmares.
The storm, the tall grass, the faceless father figure surrounded by remains.
And these aren't just dreams. They're pulling him somewhere. He feels this compulsion to go to the Corvinus system, specifically Corvinus the Firth.
Which, according to the files, is a derelict mining colony. It's supposed to be abandoned.
It radiated and empty.
Yeah. So Aev goes to his captain, Sabrina Corbin. And I want to pause here because this interaction felt really unusual. He basically says, I have spooky dreams and a bad feeling. Can I borrow a spaceship? And she says yes.
It speaks to Corbin's intuition. She sees he's at a breaking point. But listen to her exact words in the transcript. You have a home to return to. She knows he thinks he's an orphan. She's warning him that digging up the past might cost him his future.
So he takes a runabout, the LAR, but he's not alone. He picks up a hitchhiker.
Dr. Samantha Dawes. Sam, an old friend.
And Sam is so crucial here. Aev is brooding and internal. Ignis is an AI having an existential crisis. You need Sam to be the anchor. She's the scientist, the one saying, okay, this is physically real.
She's the verifier.
They get to Corvinus, and abandoned is definitely the wrong word. The sensor logs show a gravimetric debris disk and a loading station that is actively jamming them.
And the jamming is sophisticated. Ignis notes it's layered to resemble background noise.
What does that mean for us non-engineers?
So pirates would just use brute force jamming, right? White noise. This is different. This is designed to look like cosmic radiation so you don't even know you're being jammed.
State-level tech.
It screams secret military installation.
But they land anyway. They set down about 1 kilometer from a settlement, and then they get jumped.
The ambush is textbook. But notice the species. They're remans.
Okay, let's break that down for a second because it's easy to get Romulans and Remans mixed up.
Crucial distinction. Romulans are the empire builders. Vulcanoid, secretive. Remans are from the twin planet, Remus. Nocturnal, photosensitive, and historically treated as, well, slave labor by the Romulans.
So seeing an organized, armed group of them running a secret base is...
Highly irregular, and they use their environment perfectly. High-intensity light to blind Iev and Sam. They take their weapons, and then, critically, they force Iev to take off the ring.
They separate the man from the machine.
Exactly. They leave him isolated just as he's about to face the truth.
They're dragged to a cavern to meet the leader, an elder named Scath. And this is where the whole thing shifts. Scath looks at Iev, and he just knows.
He recognizes the eyes. He asks Iev who he is, and when Iev mentions he was left at a medical station by a Remen, Scath drops the bombshell.
I am your grandfather.
But Sam immediately calls out as impossible. Iev looks Romulan, Scath is Remen. They're different species.
But Seth insists. He cuts his own hand, offers a blood sample. Sam runs it against Iev's DNA, and the results are, well, they're complicated.
Iev is a hybrid. Genetically Romulan, yes, but 31% of his gene expression aligns with Remen markers.
Okay, hold on. Iev is a Starfleet officer. How does nobody notice he's 31% Remen? All the physicals, the transporters?
It's a fantastic question, and it comes down to a lack of comparative data. The Federation has very little medical intel on Remen physiology, so doctors would see anomalies in his blood work and just chalk it up to normal genetic variants. The Remen genes were hidden in plain sight.
So he's been walking around his whole life as a secret hybrid and had no idea.
None. Scath offers to prove it with a mind link.
And Sam warns him, this is a huge risk. Why?
Think of it like a voltage transfer. If you don't have mental shields or training, a direct link can basically fry your nervous system. You aren't just watching a memory, you're feeling the raw emotion of it.
But he's desperate. He agrees. And the description in the logs is, it's a horror show. He sees his own birth.
He sees his mother, Rhea, killing a medic to hide the baby she calls an abomination.
And his father, Sereth, a Romulan researcher. He hands his own son over to the Remans to hide him from the Talshir.
But then, in the link, Scath hits a wall in Ev's mind.
A psionic block.
A mental dampener. His father must have put it there when he was an infant to suppress his natural telepathic abilities. And Scath, in his grief, he accidentally smashes right through it.
And the dam breaks.
It's a catastrophic release of energy. Ignis logs a massive telepathic scream. Ev projects a blast of pure grief that knocks everyone in the cavern unconscious, including himself.
So he's not just a hybrid, he's a powerful empath who just literally blew everyone's mind.
And that block is gone. He can't put the genie back in the bottle. He's now an untrained telepath broadcasting his feelings like a radio tower.
He wakes up days later, and they don't have time to process any of it because the sensors light up.
The Romulan Free State has arrived.
And this is not a diplomatic visit. This is shock and awe. We're talking orbital bombardment. Emerald green disruptor beams vaporizing the jamming station.
And then the antagonist arrives. Senator Raul Traelef.
He beams down into a war zone and just looks bored. He's frighteningly efficient. And he drops the next twist. He's Sereth's brother.
He's Ev's uncle. And notice how he handles him. He doesn't threaten. He adopts this weary, benevolent, relative persona. I didn't kill your father, he says. A colleague did. He distances himself from the trauma while moving in to manipulate.
And then he plays his ace. Scath told Iev his mother was dead.
Raul says, no, she's alive. And she's working for the Free State.
This is Manipulation 101. Isolate the target, offer them something only you can give them.
He takes a hair sample to prove to the mother her son is alive. And then he hands Iev a device.
A communication link.
This is the pivot point of the entire story. Raul gives a Starfleet officer a secure, unmonitored channel to a hostile power.
And Iev takes it.
He takes it.
Yeah.
Logic has left the chat. He's operating on pure emotional need. He just found out who he is, and now you're telling him his mother's out there. He grabs that lifeline.
The Free State leaves. Iev, Sam, and Ignis limp back to their runabout.
In the debrief, we see the fallout. The Federation moves in to protect the Remans. So on paper, the mission was a success. Iev saved his grandfather's people.
But he lies to Starfleet. He hides the comms device.
He chooses the secret. And that is exactly what the Romulans were banking on.
Which brings us to the intercepted logs from the Romulan side of things. The part Iev doesn't know.
Raul is reporting to a General Rihu. And it turns out this wasn't about Iev. It was a heist. They talk about a cipher.
Iev's father, Sereth, hid a genetic cipher inside an isolinear rod, like a super encrypted hard drive.
And it contains something huge. A weapon, a tactical advantage. But here's the catch. The rod is biolocked.
To Ayev's specific hybrid DNA.
But it's even more specific. The logs say the lock requires the subject to be willing.
Willing.
The interface likely reads stress levels, psionic intent. If they kidnapped Ayev and tortured him, the rod would stay locked forever. They can't force him. They need him to want to open it.
That explains the uncle's behavior perfectly. That's why he was so nice, why he didn't capture him.
They're weaponizing his love for a mother he has never met. It's a long con. They are counting on him using that comms device. They will use his mother as bait to get him to unlock their superweapon.
Wow. And this parallel between Ignis and Ayev, it's striking.
It's beautiful narrative symmetry, isn't it? You have Ignis, a machine, experiencing heuristic drift, evolving emotions beyond his programming. He's becoming more human.
And Ayev, who spent his life being the perfect, logical Vulcanoid officer.
Is discovering he's a biological anomaly with uncontrollable empathic powers. He's evolving into something else entirely. Both of them are breaking the rules of their existence.
And both are a massive danger to the status quo. An AI with feelings is unpredictable. An officer with a secret heritage and a direct line to the enemy is a security nightmare.
And neither can go back. The psionic block is shattered. Ignis has tasted humanity. They have to live with this new reality.
So what's the big takeaway for you, aside from, check your family history carefully?
It's about the burden of legacy. Ayev defined himself by his actions, his service. But this story says that biology and history have a gravity you can't escape. His father created a weapon, and now Ayev is the key to it.
And the tragic irony is that his attempt to heal his family might be the very thing that destroys him.
Rawls' final comment in the log sums it up. Truth has a way of surfacing. He knows Ayev won't be able to let the mystery of his mother go. He's using Ayev's loyalty against him.
It's a terrifyingly brilliant strategy. And by hiding that comms device, Ayev has already taken the first step into their trap.
We leave him flying back to the Arawyn, trying to act normal. But he is sitting on a powder keg.
And the fuse is already lit. He just doesn't know how long it is.
Precisely.
Well, that is a heavy note to end on, but that's what these deep dives are for. This has been Echoes of Blood, a reminder that sometimes the answers you search for are far more dangerous than the questions.
And that identity is just a construct until someone breaks the lock.
Thanks for listening. Keep your shields up.
And maybe double-check your AI settings.
Catch you on the next deep dive.